There was a new video that popped up on jw.org, and it was in one of my least favorite series. It was the Caleb and Sophia videos, and it's basically designed to get people to get baptized, children to get baptized at a very early age. And I found it kind of interesting because of some of the themes, and we have a return of an old classic, the old Sparlock doll, which, to be completely honest, I haven't actually watched all of the Caleb and Sophia videos. I find them like just really, really dull and annoying to listen to. So I had to go back and actually watch that because when I saw this new one, I was like, where have I seen that before? And it was just I had seen this doll on social media. Anyway, so we're going to look into that. This is going to be a podcast Wally, live stream Wally. I'm turning the camera on, letting it ride. Not a lot of goofy edits, intro, skits, or anything like that. So yeah, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. And let's do this.
Wow, that looks like me. I have a question.
What is it, my dear?
How do you get baptized?
That's a good question.
And an important one.
Okay, this is going to be one of Wally's classic pet peeves that isn't really that interesting, but hey, it's my YouTube channel, so I get to do what I want. I can't stand, this is like in reverse, but I can't stand when someone says, oh wow, you look just like your dad, or oh, you look just like your mom. What did you expect? Did you just assume that everyone is going to look like the milkman and not look like their parents? Like, are you just like, have your brains fallen out of your skull? It always irritates me when like, oh my God, he has his father's nose. Oh, look, she has his mother's eyes. And I'm like, yeah, what? That's everyone on planet Earth. Like, it's rare that you find someone that doesn't have some sort of noticeable features of their parents. So like, we should comment on the rarity of that, not comment on the banality of kids looking like their parents, because that is what is exactly expected. And when people like act like it's a revelation, oh my God, that's so cute. Oh, they look just like their parents. Cool. That's super duper. Yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, all pet peeves aside, what does it take to get baptized? I'm sorry, but I'm not buying this. Caleb and Sophia, the whole thing is like raising children and getting them involved in order to become a Jehovah's Witness. And parents that are Jehovah's Witnesses are going to be pushing baptism on their children as soon as they can like walk, as soon as they can read and talk. The first grade, they are going to be talking about what it takes to get baptized. So this isn't a realistic scenario that they're painting here, because Sophia will already know what she needs to do in order to get baptized, because her parents are going to be constantly pushing that on here. I just realized that every time I do this, you can see my light, but someone commented that my light looked a little weird. So I was trying to drop it slightly lower so it looked better. So anyway. Podcast Wally, we're not editing any of this out, so we just have to deal with it.
Mom looks so young in this picture.
Hey!
Yes, you can be young, like your mother. What matters is that you love Jehovah and want to follow Jesus' teachings closely.
Why? Why does Watchtower have to show people in peril, people dying in children's videos? Obviously, this is the story of Jonah. He gets thrown overboard because he disobeys God, but it's a very scary sort of situation that happens to him, and he gets swallowed by a fish and is in there for 3 days. I mean, obviously, this is a retelling of some other stories of being dead for 3 days and then resurrected, but we won't get into that whole aspect of it. But why in children's videos do they always have to like have these scary sort of situations where people's lives are in danger? I can't remember the last time I watched a Blue's Clues. We'll just use that reference again. And it's like, okay, now find this Butterfinger or you will die. Like, the stakes aren't that, high. So it's just very odd. And then there's the obvious thing here of, wow, Mom, you were so young. Well, it was okay that I was young when I got baptized because it was still the best decision I could have ever made. And I guess just in the back of your mind, you just know the narrative that happened because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness and I'm an adult now. And so you know what was being said back then. My parents would say, and my grandparents even would say, we never thought we would graduate high school. My grandparents, who are like 80, 90 years old now, they were saying, we never thought we would graduate high school. I had a great-grandma who was raised in the truth. She was born in 1911, and her parents were Bible students. That's how far back my family history goes when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses. So she was born before 1914 and waited her entire life, and nothing happened, and was always told, it's just right around the corner. Make sure you just keep on, keeping on. So it's so incredibly sad to see not only my great-grandma, who spent her life, but then my grandma, who's dead now, also spent her entire life. So she raised her children with the same sort of fear. But this emphasis on getting baptized young is kind of strange, especially with some of the political ramifications of these decisions that they're making with respect to governments looking into and investigating Watchtower shunning policy and how that relates to the age of which they're telling people that they should or can be baptized. So this doesn't really work in their favor, because showing a video where you're baptizing children isn't the best look for Watchtower in the current political climate.
You can show that you want to get baptized by what you do, like obeying your parents.
Learn about Jehovah by reading the Bible. That will help you obey Jehovah and avoid things that Jehovah hates.
Oh boy, howdy. We have missed our beloved friend, a dear member of the community, Sparlock, and he has made his triumphant return. The Romans would be quite proud to celebrate this triumph. I find it absolutely hilarious that they're bringing this back. For those of you that don't really know the lore, which I would pretty much be included in that group, let me play you the old Watchtower video. I think it was their second one they ever made in the Caleb and Sophia series, and we'll see why this has some lore behind it. And then, I'll talk about it a little bit. So let's look at the old Watchtower video and see where this goofy little character with the wizard sword comes from.
Sparlock, attack! Oh no, it's Sparlock!
Caleb!
We need someone to save us!
Caleb!
Sparlock can activate your
Caleb!
magic, Sparlock!
Hi. How was school today?
Fine. Look at Sparlock's magic key!
Caleb, what toy is that?
It's Sparlock, the warrior wizard!
Whoa, a warrior wizard.
Yeah, my friend gave it to me. All the kids are going to see the movie. Can I see it too?
Oh, your friend gave this to you.
Yes, the evil Sparlock toy. I gotta hand it to Watchtower's animation department. They have come a very long way in improving their videos, because this one is so cursed looking. But it's just interesting, just the way the mom is handling the situation. Oh, a friend at school gave it to you. She's like an NPC that you're like waiting for and like hitting A as fast as you can to try and click through her cutscenes, because the way she talks is just so irritating. But anyway, I think it's funny how they're going to focus on the magic aspect of that, but let's let it run for a little bit longer and then we'll get right into it.
You look pretty excited about this. Why don't you come over here and get your snack, okay? Is this toy magical?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, who likes magic? Jehovah or Satan?
Satan.
Right. Magic is bad. That's why Jehovah hates it. Do you really want to play with something that Jehovah hates? Do you remember who we learned about at family worship? Who is this?
Adam and Eve.
Right. Did they obey Jehovah?
No, they disobeyed Jehovah. And he got very sad.
So what if you disobey Jehovah and play with toys he doesn't like? Do you think Jehovah will be happy or sad?
Sad.
Yeah. Do you want Jehovah to be sad?
No! I don't want Jehovah to be sad with me.
No, I don't want Jehovah to be sad with you either.
I played this video for someone that has never been a Jehovah's Witness and that has kids just to see their reaction. And it was so funny because the first thing they said was, if I was a lawyer in this courtroom, I would just keep saying objection leading. And it was like the best way I could think to describe what's the type of parenting that's going on here. Like, you're not really parenting. You already have a definitive answer. It's like God versus Satan, like putting all of this pressure, like the God of the universe is the one that will be hurt or be happy with every little decision that this 4 or 5-year-old makes, even the type of toys. And it's just like how it leads. Every question is like, now you wouldn't want to hurt Jehovah, would you? Now who's the one that really likes magic? And it's just all of these leading questions, and it's so cringe. But the thing that I find really hilarious is, let's close our eyes and imagine we just put a different label. Instead of this being Sparlock, imagine it's Elijah or Jesus. They're allowed to watch Watchtower videos where Jesus is performing miracles or some prophet is performing a miracle. But that's not bad because that's the good type of magic. So there's good magic and bad magic. And I wish the mom would have taken the time here, or the son asked, well, what about Jesus when he did this? Oh, well, that's good magic. So Jehovah does like magic. Yeah, but it has to be his version of magic, not the bad type of magic that we don't like. It is so ridiculous when you really break it down in a simple way. And if it's all fantasy, if it's all just make-believe, if it's sci-fi, if it's just for fun, what's really the harm in it? What's the harm? And I think this came out around the time, I might be mistaken, but like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit were popular. And so they were trying to maybe get ahead of people going to the occult. Oh man, because if you watch Harry Potter, which is just, I guess, kind of fun, or I mean, the movies aren't that great. Oh boy, I just isolated half of the entire community. I'm gonna get backlash for that one, but I mean, they're not the best movies out there, if I'm completely honest. But I guess I didn't grow up with it, so maybe that's why I have that opinion. But anyway, I just find it hilarious that they have this double standard when it comes to magic. If God rains down lightning bolts and fire from heaven, that's totally okay. If they show a movie to children where God performs this magical supernatural act where he kills thousands of people by snapping his fingers and fireballs coming down from heaven, that is okay. But him walking around with this little Sparlock wizard doll that, I don't know, what does it do? It changes a centipede into a butterfly, it changes a tree into a table. I don't really know the entire lore behind Sparlock here, what his powers are, but usually, generally speaking, I mean, obviously, there's not going to be something marketed towards children. That's like this satanic devil cult worship stuff. Like that's pretty hardcore, like horror film. So it's probably benevolent, whatever his powers are. But I find it absolutely hilarious. Just how she talks to him, and the giant hole in the middle of this being, well, what is the difference between this God approved magic and God disapproved magic? Because obviously not all magic comes from Satan. So anyway, I find it absolutely fascinating. Oh yeah, and the other part of this. So this was when he was a kid, so it was popular, obviously, and he wants to go see the movie with the kids at school. But in the other drama, it shows her at a movie store with the sign 2 for $4, I think. Really takes you back to the Blockbuster days. But it shows her in a movie store rejecting, Sparlock. So there's kind of a continuity error that's happened here as well, because she would have already been familiar with where the toy came from if she was familiar with the franchise. If this is something that she had already dealt with when she was a child, you'd obviously know about it. So it's not like this should come as a surprise to her. So I like the continuity error. I like the logical fallacies, and I really like the old animation. And to just have the old Wombo combo 4-piece here, the way she talks and the way she's parenting is absolutely hysterical. Anyway, let's jump back into the new video, because the rest of this one is just him throwing it in the garbage.
Learn about Jehovah by reading the Bible. That will help you obey Jehovah and avoid things that Jehovah hates.
Then you'll want to share your faith with others.
Especially in the ministry.
And at the meetings. Make friends with others who love Jehovah.
And most importantly, tell Jehovah in prayer that you want to serve him forever.
That's why we get baptized in public. It shows others that we've dedicated our lives to Jehovah.
That's so cool.
Would you like to get baptized one day?
Why don't you learn a little more about the steps for baptism and share it with us at Family Worship?
Okay.
So whenever they are in legal trouble, Watchtower that is, they like to pull out this old card that, well, we don't force anyone to get baptized. We don't coerce anyone to get baptized. And yet they kind of do. As we've seen through many of these Caleb and Sophia videos, it's a life or death situation when it comes to being obedient to the leaders of Watchtower. And the opposite of obedience is usually portrayed as rejection and death. So I find it disturbing, especially, like I said before, with the political climate, that they're so insistent on getting children to start asking their parents about baptism. If you have a 4, 5, 6-year-old that is watching these videos, and trust me, Jehovah's Witness parents are going to the kids will have these videos memorized faster than they have Toy Story or Lion King memorized, because they play them for their children all of the time. And that is going to seep the idea and incept it into their brains, where they're going to be like, well, why can't I get baptized? And we already know that there are 7, 8, 9-year-olds that get baptized. You're actually more likely to get baptized, just from my little statistics that I've worked up from random polls, but you're more likely to be baptized under the age of 12 than you are over the age of 18, which is really wild to me when it really comes down to it. It's kind of crazy, especially because whenever they're in trouble, they like to say, oh, we don't coerce people. This is the coercion. This is the manipulation. This is the indoctrination. And the opposite of this, if they reject it, is silence. You will be shunned by your family. They will not love you anymore. They won't act like your parents, your grandparents, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your friends. They will reject you. And if you see them in a grocery store, this has happened to me before, you come eye to eye with one of your family members in the grocery store. Mind you, as far as I'm aware, I'm not disfellowshipped. they turn and walk the other direction. There was a really sad incident when I ran into my sister-in-law, and she had her kids with her. And I mean, they're tiny, tiny, tiny. And this is pretty short after I stopped going to meetings. Again, not disfellowshipped or anything. And the kids started to yell, "He's bad, he's bad, he's bad." And they turned around and ran the other direction. If Jehovah's Witness children aren't being manipulated and indoctrinated, apparently I don't know what that even means. Because there is nothing more scary than someone like 3 weeks before that just was Uncle Wally. You know, come over to the house, we'll make some food, we'll go shopping, we'll go to Nordstrom, buy you some new shoes, you know, whatever the case might be. Everything was totally normal and fine. And fast forward a couple of weeks, and shouting and running away in a grocery store saying, "He's bad, he's bad." It is so disgusting what Jehovah's Witness parents do to their children, and the long-term effects that it will have on them are very real, as all of us can attest to. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed podcast style Wally. Sorry, I'm a little bit ranty, but I just wanted to make a video about this because I saw the old Sparlock come back into play, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious that when you compare this to the old video, there's this continuity error that I don't know, maybe Watchtower animators don't even watch their old content. Who really knows? Anyway, if you're still around, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to go watch the basketball game now. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to smile.